Chin-sun, will you go out with me? He nervously asked, his voice filled with anticipation. She stood frozen, utterly surprised by his confession. With a skeptical expression, she stared at him, unable to believe what she was hearing. His face flushed with embarrassment, he couldn't bring himself to meet her gaze. It took a moment for her to process his words. Wait, is he asking me out? She thought, caught off guard by the unexpected proposition. She gazed at him, her eyes filled with longing, as she compared herself to him. Min-sun was undeniably handsome, considered the most attractive boy in the entire school, with his slender physique, tall stature, cherry brown hair, V-shaped jawline, and flawless, fair complexion. In contrast, she felt unworthy, convinced that she was ugly based on the cruel words she had internalized. He lifted his gaze, his eyes shimmering with tears and intense emotions, resembling that of a vulnerable puppy. Nervously, he waited for Chin-sun's response. Teng. I? She stuttered, lowering her head and frantically searching for the right words. Chin-sun? Chin-sun, a voice called out. Huh, she exclaimed, jolting back to reality. Taking a moment to gather herself, she let out a sigh of relief. Oh, I was daydreaming again, she murmured, absent-mindedly rubbing her head. Hey, we have lectures. You don't want to be late for Professor Jimin's class, Bae exclaimed, feeling exasperated as she glanced at her best friend, who lived in the same neighborhood. Bae was undeniably beautiful, with her curvaceous figure, large jasper eyes, perfectly arched eyebrows, petite nose, flawless porcelain skin, and luscious lips. Comparing themselves, Chin-sun couldn't help but feel that Bae possessed more stunning features. Chin-sun felt a sense of dread as her first academic semester began. The admission process, orientation, and course selection had been overwhelming for her. She had applied to prestigious universities like A and B, but unfortunately, they were unable to offer her admission due to a lack of vacancies. However, she found solace in attending Y University. Balancing school and chores would be challenging, but she was grateful for the opportunity to pursue a college education. Despite not being her first choice, Y University wasn't a bad option. Y University was now a B-graded university. The campus of the university spanned a considerable area, dotted with modern and well-maintained buildings. The classrooms and lecture halls were equipped with up-to-date technology and comfortable seating. The library boasted an extensive collection of resources, both in print and digital formats, catering to various academic disciplines. Students enjoyed a range of facilities, including well-equipped laboratories, a gymnasium, and recreational spaces. The university also had multiple dining options, offering a variety of cuisines. Overall, the infrastructure provided a conducive environment for learning and growth. When is our business marketing class? Chin-sun suddenly inquired. In 15 minutes, why? Bae looked puzzled. Chin-sun stood up and headed towards the door. Where are you going? Gonna grab a bite. Chin-sun rushed off before Bae could assign her any errands. Hey, love. Chin beamed as she saw a notification on her phone. How's your day going? Boring. Missing you. Ouch, she exclaimed as she toppled to the floor, feeling sore after the impact of her but hitting the ground. She had bumped into someone who felt as solid as a brick wall. Rubbing her sore head, she tried to stand up but fell again. Hey you, the stranger closed his book, revealing a handsome face. He adjusted his golden-rimmed glasses and looked down at the figure below him. Chin-sun was momentarily stunned before directing a furious glare at the stranger, who seemed unfazed and nonchalant, further fueling her anger. Despite her annoyance, Chin-sun couldn't deny that he was quite charming. With his black hair, slanted turquoise eyes, jade skin, button nose, well-sculpted face, and pink lips, he was undeniably attractive. His eyes had a peculiar quality to them. Hey, you bumped into me, Chin-sun rasped, her voice filled with 70% annoyance and 30% anger. The stranger glanced at her briefly, his piercing turquoise eyes seeming to search for something within her. A slight shiver ran down Chin-sun's spine as he exuded a dominant aura. He then averted his gaze, as if finding nothing of interest, and walked away with a cold and aloof demeanor. Trying to hide her fear and embarrassment, Chin-sun swallowed the lump in her throat and coughed slightly before mustering the courage to speak. Hey, you're such a rotten brat, she exclaimed, her voice filled with indignation and fury. The stranger paused for a moment, seemingly unfazed by her statement. Chin-sun glanced at her watch, her expression turning awful as she realized she was late. Shit, she thought to herself. She quickly got up and raced to the snack bar, fumbling to take out her money as she placed her order. Feeling the pressure of time, she decided to buy some sweet buns and hurriedly made her way to Professor Jimin's class, skipping along in a rush. The ticking clock only added to her frustration, but she was determined to make it on time. Quietly, she entered the classroom, only to be met with the shock of 39 pairs of eyes staring at her. Standing there, she felt a wave of awkwardness and embarrassment wash over her. Late on the first day of lecture, what a great way to start your academic semester, someone scoffed. Then, a voice, icy and indifferent, addressed her with a reprimanding tone. Miss Chin-sun, you are late. Sorry, Professor, Chin-sun said, lowering her head in embarrassment. The professor had his back turned and spoke without turning around. Chin-sun slowly raised her head to apologize further, and as she did, the professor spun around to face her. They stared at each other in shock. Professor Jimin's eyes twitched slightly, but he remained indifferent as Chin-sun's eyes widened in surprise.